Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 110 of the Weird, Wacky and Wonderful Stories podcast.
Hi everybody.
Bella's just got out the shower, as you can see, and so have I. We didn't have a shower together. The shower's not that big, but...
Unfortunately.
While I was in the shower, I did think about you being in the shower with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because what, I was stinky or something and... So maybe I needed to be in there before you?
No, just thinking how cool this would be. Do you remember when we were at your house and we used to be able to have showers? That was really nice. Okay, next house we get big bathroom, double shower. Okay?
Or
although
we
knowing
both just
you...
lose weight and then we could fit in the small one.
Or knowing you, you'll just take the dog in there with you or something instead.
Nice.
She's your little best pal. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Thank you very much. There are a lot of podcasts out there at the moment that are all talking about Halloween coming up, as are we going to be today. However, they're talking more about the ghostly things that have gone on and all the rest of it. And yes, while that's a part of it and that is something we'd love to cover, it's being done to death. So rather than that, we decided instead that we would talk about the human aspect of Halloween and what people tend to do. And the biggest thing, obviously, is the pranks, isn't it? As well as, obviously, the dressing up.
Well, the pranks back home usually happen the night before.
The night before Halloween?
On moving night. Yeah, they call it moving night.
Really?
And that's when people go out and throw eggs at houses and toilet paper everywhere and God knows what else. I mean, I'm sure, like, I was pretty calm back then. Today, they probably do a lot worse than eggs and toilet paper, but anyway.
So did you participate in egg throwing?
Well, I didn't participate in. Well, I was in.
You did. Just say you did.
No, I never threw an egg or threw a roll of toilet paper, but I was there when it happened.
Oh, I see. So you were one of the people egging them on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to say that I've never participated in something like that.
No, because you just do it all year.
I have never egged anyone's house, car, or anything else. I'll have you know. I'm moving this so I can face more towards there. Yeah, no, never done it.
No, you've done worse.
I haven't, honestly. Around here, yeah, people do the egging and all that sort of stuff, which I personally don't agree with, because if someone the next day has to clean their property and everything because someone else thought it was funny, when they start doing like elderly people's houses and everything, and then they got to get out there and start scrubbing, I think it's I don't like it personally.
Well, I didn't like it neither. That's why I didn't do it. But I had friends who were bad, so I went with them, and yeah.
Okay, so
I was the holder of the egg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were the one who went and bought the eggs and supplied them. Yeah, regular arms dealer.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be looking at today is some of the tricks and that people have pulled along the way. And to kick it off, actually, I've told this on the podcast before, but it was a long time ago, so people may not have heard it. My mum is a great practical joker, and I'd like to think that that's where I get a lot of my humour from. And I remember it wasn't Halloween, it was April Fool's. But I can remember when I was younger, she had watched my dad. She hadn't told any of us she was going to do this. But she'd watched my dad for a period of days and really studied the way he gets up in the morning and gets dressed. And he always, for instance, puts his left leg in his underwear first when he's putting it on, followed by his right leg. Okay, so she sewed up the leg of the right side of his underwear. So... And delighted in the fact that, he put his left leg in first, and then, you sort of hike it up a bit, don't you? And then you put your other leg in. And if it doesn't go in, you're committed, and your left leg is tied up by the fact that you're holding it in place now with these pants, and there's nowhere to go. So something in your head doesn't go, I'll take my foot back out. What actually happens is in your head, you're going, I can get this in. And he just went down to rapturous laughter from my mum. So as a kid, I was downstairs and all I could hear was, you know? So, excuse the dog shaking in the background. That was hysterical. But my mum, she... All right, you're scratching now. This is why we usually leave you out of the room. Dickhead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say this is not a prank, although I'm sure my mother took great delight in it when it happened. Okay? So, my dad came home from the bar, and he was drunk, and he went to bed. But my mother decided in the middle of the night would be a really great time to rearrange the bedroom furniture. And so she did. So when my dad jumped out of bed the next morning, he slammed his face right into the side of the doorway. And
I wonder if she did that on purpose. Because I never got the opportunity to meet your mum, but from what I can gather, she was pretty smart and pretty...
No, she had this annoying habit, though, of, for whatever reason, 2 o'clock in the morning, she would just get up and rearrange the room.
That's where you get it from.
No.
You rearrange stuff all the time.
I like things to be where they should be.
Where you think they should be.
But I don't move, like, the couches or the TV.
Just move all my shit.
Well, if you leave it out and it's looking at me and it's not where it should be, then yeah, I move it. Like,
even if I leave it in a drawer, you go. It shouldn't go in that drawer.
No,
I need to put it in a different drawer.
but then
it would much prefer a different drawer.
But then she would rearrange it in the middle of the night, and then you'd get up in the morning and be like, "What's going on?" And I mean, she would do this. Every few weeks, she'd rearrange it. I don't know why she felt the need to keep rearranging it. See, I guess that's where we were different. Because you could plunk the furniture where it is, unless we get something new, and leave it where it is, and I'd probably be fine with that until I die, as long as it's put in the right place when I move it. Right? Anyway, back to pranks. It's fine.
So it wasn't really a prank that she did.
No, I said it wasn't.
No, I'm just saying it was just really funny, the fact it could have been a prank.
Well, she never admitted to it, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have wanted to provoke him like that, but But it was pretty funny.
Well, I'm going to read, and the link will be in the show notes, by the way, to all of the things that we're going to be talking about today. But I'm going to read a couple of examples of some stories of other people. So I've got one right here. It says... a few years ago, hang on a minute, made it too big. Let's move that over. A few years ago, a family in North Carolina decided to hang a dummy from their second-story roof to make it look like a person had slipped while cleaning their gutters.
No, this isn't the one that you were talking about earlier.
No.
That's fine.
To look like they'd slipped while cleaning their gutters and was now holding on for dear life. The dummy was apparently dressed in real jeans, a sweater, and tennis shoes. However, it quickly turned to a problem when a neighbour who was out walking their dog freaked out and called the local fire department, who turned up and then tried to rescue the dummy whilst shouting, "Hang on."
Good thing the dummy was able to hang on that long. If it had been a human, they would have fell off waiting for the fire department. Like... Go get a trampoline and put it underneath. That's all they do in the fire department, isn't it?
Well, on the trampoline? No, I think you've been watching too many movies there.
I'm just kidding.
They do. I mean, they have things they can inflate and all that sort of stuff, don't they? But I think they need some time to do that, don't they?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a... Yeah. I've never rescued a dummy off of a...
No.
Gutter or whatever it was.
No, the one that Bella tried to stop me because she thought that there's some of these pranks that have gone wrong where people have been seriously hurt and killed, and there was one of a young boy, which I'm not going to go into, but it was absolutely tragic. So
next funny story. Let's keep going.
Okay. This one was someone had set up something that looked like a domestic accident. Basically, what the person had done is they decided to use a dummy to stage a horrifying accident involving their ride-on lawnmower. So what they did was they placed a dummy underneath the lawnmower on the front lawn, with its arms and legs poking out and blood everywhere and all the rest of it. They put red paint over everything and, really made it look gruesome. And it looked really good, and but obviously it was out in broad daylight, and a neighbour again who saw it freaked out, dialed 911. Police arrived, and they launched into action, trying to release the person from under the lawnmower, only to find out. Oh, and in fact, one of the cops even attempted CPR. I mean,
well, what was this dummy made out of, for God's sake?
What was the cop made out of?
I mean, you do got to be certified to be able to do that shit. When did he figure out it wasn't real?
No, but when they certified him, he did it on a dummy. So to him, it was fine.
Yeah, a dummy on a dummy. I get it.
No. I'm just saying that when they certified him, he was practicing on a dummy. So he was like, yeah, no, I've seen this before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's
freaking hell.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to struggle to live that down at the station, aren't you? When you get back there with the other cops,
Yes, definitely.
And did they not smell the red paint? I guess in the heat of the moment, I mean, if you think that someone's actually under there, So this guy decides to go out, and he's, everyone dresses up, don't they, at Halloween? As different things. And in the UK, it tends to be they dressed up as ghosts and monsters and all that sort of stuff. But in America, they can dress up as anything, really, can't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy decides to go to a Halloween party dressed as an armed robber. Okay? And he was complete with a mask that was like a skull. He had a bulletproof vest on. A fake M16 assault rifle, and he had a great time at the party. Everything went with a bang. But after a few drinks, the man decided while walking home that he's going to pop into his local Starbucks because he fancies a latte on the way home. And he was obviously semi-drunk, still wearing his bulletproof vest, carrying the M16, mask on, and the customers and the staff all screamed and hit the floor. The barista, whilst jumping for the floor, raised the alarm by triggering the store alarm panic button. The cashier put her hands above her head because she's like, he's coming in for the money. Police turned up. And I mean, what's this guy doing at this stage? Isn't he going, no, guys, it's fake. Take the mask off and all the rest of it, But I don't know. The police arrived. They saw that he had money in his wallet and that he intended to pay for this non-fat latte. They realised obviously the gun was fake and all the rest of it, and they let him go. But they did confiscate his costume and his gun. Which I wonder what he went home wearing. I mean, probably the other police officers arrested him down the road for, being indecent exposure or whatever. But yeah, bizarre, isn't it? Absolutely bizarre. So this, I think, is sick. Okay, and I don't condone this at all. The little part of me had a little snigger, but most of me went. And that was my mum part of me that that would revel in my dad hitting the floor. That side of me found this funny, but the majority of me thought this was OTT. So, and first of all, I got to say, domestic violence. I'm not making a joke about that at all. But this guy, this father of these kids, decided that him and his wife. I say the father, but the wife planned it as well, right? They decide that to give their children ages 6 and 8 a good Halloween fright, they pretended that the father was killing the mother.
That's not cool.
Right? No. So this guy put on a Michael Myers mask from the Halloween franchise, and then strangled his wife in front of the kids.
That's really not cool.
No, right? The kids, even though it was fake, obviously thought that it was really happening. They screamed and freaked out and ran out of the house to a neighbour's house, where the neighbour then called the police. The sheriff's office was dispatched, and the dad was obviously left with some pretty, good explaining to do.
That is just stupid. That's like...
There were no charges filed, and the children, it says, still have trust issues to this day.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, there should have been charges filed, in my opinion, in that case. I mean, goodness me, what kind of trauma could that have caused those kids?
That can get messed up in your mind when you're...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, so while I don't think that's funny necessarily, it might have been funny if they were like older teenagers or something, but not little kids. I don't know, even then. I mean, there was a part of me that thought it was funny that somebody would actually believe that would be a good prank. That's the kind of thing that makes me go, what were they thinking?
About that one that you watched on YouTube yesterday? That was freaking hysterical.
Yeah, so I watched this video on YouTube yesterday because I was trying to get ideas for this show, and I was looking at some of the pranks on there, and this guy did a prank whereby he bought this glass. It wasn't actually made of glass, but it looked like it. And he got it from Amazon, and he threw it on the floor. He had to throw it on the floor a couple of times to actually break it, but managed to break it and get this shard of plastic that looked like glass. And he had all of this fake blood, which, to be fair, was the best fake blood I've ever seen. I mean, he bought it. It was it was a decent one. I guess they use for movies or whatever. But it actually runs and drips in the same sort of speed that normal blood would. It's quite thick. So anyway, he sets it all up in the kitchen. He's got hidden cameras around the place, and he throws a glass on the floor, a real glass, so that the family can hear a smash. Then he gets down onto the floor, puts his sort of hands over his face, but he's got this fake shard of glass that he had in his hand, sort of poking out between his fingers, so that it looks like the shard of glass is pierced into his eye with it coming out, and he's got the blood which he set up all over his face and dripping down his arm and all that sort of stuff. And he starts screaming, and to be fair, he does a really good job of acting it out. He really does. He had previously told his uncle, I believe, or someone, to fake phone the police because he was in on it. Because he was in on it. But he got carried away in the moment as well. and actually, because the kid's mother, who came in, was treading in the broken glass, she had no shoes on, but she was trying to help her kid, he picks her up and carries her away, and then gets a mop while she phones the police. Why did you phone the police? Why are you not phoning the ambulance?
Well, you phoned 991 and...
911?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you've been away far too long.
Yeah. Did I say
991? I mean, that wouldn't have even got it here.
You call 911 and just...
Right, okay. So she called, and he then, sort of gets up and says, no, it's fake. And she says, I'm really sorry, officer. Sorry to have bothered you. And puts her phone down. Of course, they're calling her back because she's 1 minute she's hysterical, next minute she's going, it's fine. Yeah. So they call her back and say, look, what's really going on? Are you under duress? What's happening? And she goes, no, it's fine. Honestly, I'm really sorry to trouble you. It's just a prank. My kids are playing. And put the phone down again. They called her back again, third time. And they said, look, you really need to explain yourself here. What's gone on? But this kid, I mean, the mother was beside herself. It was set up so well that she was really freaking out. And for a couple of minutes after the prank had ended, she was still crying. It was so sad.
But it was...
but it was really well done. Yeah.
Note, do not do that to your parents.
Yes, yeah. So here's one a teacher did. This teacher was a teacher in Taunton High School in Massachusetts. And he thought that he would frighten the crap out of his students on Halloween by bringing a real chainsaw into the school. He walked into the class, pulled the ripcord, and the classroom of 15-year-old students absolutely went berserk, especially because of the fact he was also wearing a ski mask. So they didn't even know at that stage it was their teacher. So the students all freak out, and they're trying to run out of the class and everything. One of them, while clambering over a desk, breaks his leg. All right. And the following days, then there's parents ringing the school complaining, that this has traumatized their kids. Lawsuits were actually brought against the school and against the teacher, the kid who had the broken leg, the parents successfully sued the school board for $100,000 to cover medical costs and everything else because of what went on.
Wow. I bet you that teacher got fired.
That's going to be some explaining when you have your parent-teachers evening, isn't it? Oh, are you the teacher that... Yeah. That's... Yeah, you've got to think, haven't you, when you're doing these kind of pranks?
Yeah.
What reactions people may have. They might not be what you expect.
I remember this one time when I was babysitting my cousin. I was like, I don't know, 11, quite young. But my cousin was like, he was just a baby. And so I was...
It's a great story so far,
No,
by the way.
hold on, I'm trying to think. Anyway, so when my uncle came to pick up my cousin, he came in with an axe, right? And he was like acting all crazy, like he was going to hurt us. And Jane was still alive, so that's why I'm trying to think. Like,
Jane's her stepmother, by the way.
So I must have been a little bit younger because she was still alive. Anyway, we were both freaking out, screaming, because we really thought that. And then, like, when James finally had enough sort of like, I'm going to get the phone, then he dropped it and started laughing. So,
jeez.
Yeah, there was that.
Why do people find this sort of stuff funny?
I don't know. And then I remember one time, this is a really, really funny thing, was... used to go skating like every weekend.
Oh, I used to love going skating.
Right?
Yeah, me too.
And so normal skating ended at like 10:30, but then they had a thing called late skate where you could skate till 1 a.m.
Wow.
And it was always teenagers that were there. It was like a big, Anyway, my dad, who was totally a straight arrow and didn't ever do stuff like that, he came to pick me and one of my friends up. So we go running up to the car, open the door, and my dad had on this really messed up mask. And I started screaming because I didn't know what was wrong with him. But it was so funny. But he immediately took it off. But we were both freaking out because we didn't know.
When you say messed up mask, what, like he had some kind of injury or something?
Yeah. And it didn't... neither one of us thought, well, you must be okay because he's driving. It must be a prank, right? It was Halloween time.
Yeah.
But my dad never did anything like that before. So we started screaming. And then, so that's like the only prank I can ever remember my dad doing. But it wasn't, it was funny because he did it. So that made it even more funny because
it was out of character. My brother's a bit of a joker, and he a couple of Halloweens ago, their hallway is tiled, really shiny tiled in my parents' old house. And so he did this, when you open the front door, there's this big sort of like square area with sort of like rooms off and then a corridor down to where my brother's wing was. So he did it all with black curtains so that it just literally looked like a black cube. You didn't know that there was any kind of doors or anything around the place. So we'd open the door to obviously give the kids, the candy or whatever. And my brother, after hearing the door go, would run up the corridor with socks on so you wouldn't hear him coming, and then slide across the floor like a slip and slide. and come underneath the curtain with this mask on, and all the kids would see was just this thing suddenly flying under the thing at them, with his hands up, and some kind of mask on. It scared the shit out of so many kids.
Do you remember not that long ago you told me to watch some fucking video on my phone of something that was happening on the phone, and then it made me scream and throw the phone? Do you remember that? Oh, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, those are quite good.
Those are stupid though, because that it's in your phone. So why do you?
Yeah, no, but it did the same to me.
It's like why does that? Yeah, I guess your brain just goes, holy crap, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. So this is one to do with egging, okay? So I'm going to actually read this word for word because I don't want to get this bit wrong. So it says, eggs are one of the oldest and most popular Halloween pranks. Who among us hasn't egged a house at least once in your life?
Yeah. Me.
But this is a tried and true prank, and an ominous turn was taken for a 15-year-old Pennsylvania youth in 2006. For some inexplicable reason, the teen in question thought it would be funny to egg the local electricity company substation in his town. However, the combination of egg splatter and rain that was pouring down at the time caused a massive explosion that practically destroyed the electric substation and knocked out power to 8,000 people in the local community. Fortunately, the boy escaped relatively unscathed, although he did need to be treated in hospital for ringing in his ears after the explosion.
What a poor thing. That's terrible.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So there was a woman in Florida who got really upset because their neighbor, in fact, she actually sued the neighbor for defamation and harassment and emotional distress because the man next door set up a Halloween display that made her the butt of his jokes. So the neighbor basically erected a sign on his lawn, which pointed to the woman's yard, and had a signpost for insane asylum. He erected a plastic tombstone with an epitaph that made fun of the fact the woman was still single in her late 40s. The tombstone read, "At 48, she had no mate, no date. It's no debate. She looks 88."
Oh, nice.
However, the woman had the last laugh because she sued the pants off him, and she also got the promise in court that he wouldn't do anything like that again. So
I wonder how much she won.
It doesn't say. I was really interested to find out how much that would be. So there's a guy in England who decided to go to a Halloween party dressed as a sheep. You wouldn't find anyone doing that in Wales because we would pounce on them.
Is that right? Wait, that's something I never know about you.
So
Ew.
You.
Well, you just got it, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. That was bad. So his sheep costume, it was covered in cotton wool balls,
Yeah.
to make him look all sheepy. And so he's riding on the subway, going to the party, and some idiot next to him decided to flick his lighter near one of the cotton wool balls just to kind of like have a joke, but it actually caught. And the guy just went up into flames. I mean,
that's not funny,
cotton wool balls, they go up, man. So the people on the train tried to put him out, but the trouble is they were pouring their alcoholic beverages on him.
Oh, nice.
So luckily he survived, but had some crazy, medical issues from it.
Yeah.
And it says hefty medical bills, but I mean, we don't pay for medical bills here unless you're private.
Well, it could be that he needed some sort of.
He might have had to have some kind of plastic surgery afterwards. So that's a bit nasty, that one. This is one where somebody died as a result of it. It's not the one with the kid, although this is still really sad.
Well,
It's in 2009. There was a woman in New York who was charged with a misdemeanor after a Halloween prank ended up killing her friend. Inspired by a prank that she'd seen on TV, a 49-year-old woman decided to spike the punch at a Halloween party she was attending with Visine eye drops. Apparently, she thought it would make her friend woozy and ill. However, some kind of friend, isn't it? You want to make your friend woozy and ill. However, it actually causes serious medical issues for people who drink it. I mean, it's just not designed to be drunk, including respiratory failure. And that's what happened to this lady. She collapsed quickly after drinking it and later died. And several people actually at the party became seriously ill.
That's not funny.
No, it isn't funny. But the reason why I'm mentioning it is we had this conversation the other day about people spiking drinks. And it's one thing that always worried me when I was younger and used to go to clubs and all that sort of stuff. Because there was a big thing back here about people dropping acid in your drinks. And it was one thing that really sort of worried me because there's been some nasty sort of side effects. So if you're going to do a prank, guys, fair enough. Don't go putting stuff in people's drinks. Our listeners wouldn't do that because they're sensible anyway, but you know what I mean. So that's all I've got on the pranks. I'm not going to read the last one because the last one's about that child who
good plan.
died as a result of it. As I said, the links will be in the show notes. So if you do decide that you want to read all of this in full, then you can go ahead and do so. That's no problem at all. There was I was looking on Reddit at some of the things that have happened over Halloween to kind of get an idea of what people get up to and any pranks and different things that they do. And this one here, I'm looking at my other screen. Sorry if you see me looking at the side. So the person says the doorbell, and this is actually via Twitter. The doorbell made our Great Dane nervous, so we gave him some vet-prescribed Xanax to relax for the night. But he was so stoned that at one point he walked out of the front door and peed on someone's dad. I just thought that was pretty cool. So, there's some really weird ones in here, but this one is just loads of sort of Twitter tweets about funny things that have happened on Halloween. That's sort of... My mum got drunk, and when the kids would ring the doorbell, she would throw the candy at them while singing, "Let it go, let it go." Someone says, I once saw 5 people walk into public toilets dressed as the Avengers and came out as the Justice League. I was dressed up as a fortune teller at a college party. A guy comes up to me and asked me to read his palm. I told him he'd get drunk and have a good time. He came back an hour later and told me I was the real deal and, and fell over a table.
Oh, my God.
Some really good stuff on there. I'm going to stick that in the show notes as well. There's loads and loads of Twitter things where people have put information on there about things that are funny that have happened to them on Halloween. There was one on here I'm just looking for because it was really funny. Not funny, but one year all the kids seemed to be skipping our house. We couldn't figure out why, since our decorations were clearly visible and our lights were on. Turns out the neighbour's cat was hit by a car and died on our steps.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why people aren't coming. A kid came to my door a few years back wearing a shirt full of small cereal boxes with knives sticking out of the sides of the boxes. I asked him what he was supposed to be, and he replied, "Are you stupid or something? I'm a serial killer." Anyway, I'm not going to go reading all of those out because it'll take forever. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. let us know any kinds of Halloween stuff that you're going to be doing. That would be really interesting. If you've got any cool pranks or whatever, then yeah, we'd love to hear them. Be safe, be careful, enjoy your Halloween. It's a lovely time of year, and we can all have a good laugh.
Yep.
Anything else to say?
No.
Right. Okay. You can go and dry your hair now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget you can follow us on www.wearewacky1full.co.uk. Also on our Facebook, YouTube channel as well, and Instagram and all of those other places. So you can get in touch however
We're
you wish.
every freaking where.
We're every freaking where, man. So anyway, yeah, that's all done, yeah?
Yep.
Lovely. Thank you very much. See you again. And don't forget to stay weird, wacky, and wonderful.